We get to know a person named Frank Connor, an officer who works in the FBI, and he is known for being an adventurous person who can do anything in exchange for what he wants. And this is what he does in the Federal Information Building in San Francisco, where he breaks into the building in order to search for a case identical to that of his son who has leukemia. He needs a donor for a spinal cord transplant. Of all the existing cases, no one was suitable for his son except the most dangerous killer in America, a person named McCabe. He is known to be a murderer and a criminal, and at the same time he has a very high IQ. He managed to escape from prison several times. On one occasion, he buried the guards responsible for him alive and also broke his cellmate's leg. These are the reasons that made them put him in solitary confinement for the rest of his life. Frank meets him and tells him that his son needs a spinal marrow transplant and that he is the only one who can help them perform the surgery. But McCabe tells him that he has spent his entire life committing murders and that he will be happy if someone else dies, and he told him that he would not help him. After that, Frank goes to his son Matthew, who did not know why he was in the hospital. But children, although their minds are still developing, they can feel. He told his father that he knew that the cancer had come back to him again, but his father was trying to calm him down, and he told him that they had found a donor who could help him. Dr. Samantha enters and tells him that he has a call from prison, whereas McCabe asked him to bring his son to prison to see him. Indeed, he met him and felt bad for him. He decided to agree to perform a surgery and donate to him, but there are certain conditions. The first condition is that the prison warden allows him to smoke, that they allow him to enter the prison library, and that he be released from solitary confinement. This thing was very difficult because of the danger of McCabe. Frank seemed to sense that there was something McCabe was planning because he could have agreed from the beginning. Frank and his friend investigate how McCabe could escape from prison. The prison warden and the state governor confirm that the security of the new hospital operates under an electronic system, which was considered something new at that time and is difficult for anyone to hack. Then, without any reason, McCabe breaks his finger. After being allowed into the prison library, he opens the computer and discovers the design of the new hospital where he will perform the surgery. He asked the prisoner in charge of the eating to bring him naloxone, a drug used to reverse the effects of sedation caused by opioids. After that, he takes this medicine, ties it with a thin thread, and tries to put it in his mouth. Indeed, he did it in a very strange way. After that, he collects part of the tobacco, mixes it with sulfur, and places it in something that looks like a slice. When this chip comes into contact with anything, it produces a spark of fire. Then he hides this chip inside his fingernails. After that, the most dangerous prisoner in America was transferred to the hospital. The Federal Bureau of Investigation and helicopters accompanied him during the transfer. He actually enters the hospital and is admitted to the surgical room. He takes the medication naloxone, which he hides inside his mouth. The guards had orders not to leave him until he was sedated. Doctors anesthetize him in order to perform surgery on him. They waited for the device to give them a signal that he had lost consciousness, but they were surprised that he did. We then find out why McCabe broke his finger in order to untie his hands from the bed. Then suddenly he jumps out of bed and sets fire to the oxygen tube using the chip on his finger. He burns all the people in the room. Frank tries to catch up with him, but he escapes through the hospital's laundry room. Frank's friend tells him that his son has lost consciousness as a result of the effect of anesthesia, and this matter may expose him to death if he stays for a long time. This puts Frank under pressure to find McCabe as quickly as possible. He is trying to trace the blood that is pouring from McCabe's leg because he was injured. McCabe enters the emergency room and detains the doctor. He forced them to untie his leg and remove the bullet from his leg. One of the nurses watches him, but he threatens to kill one of the nurses. Frank saw him and tried to stop him, but McCabe ordered him to put down his gun. A policeman appears from behind McCabe and was about to kill McCabe, but Frank intervenes and stops him because McCabe is the only hope of saving his son. McCabe kills 2 people and escapes, all because of Frank preventing them from shooting him. So the state governor orders the guards to detain Frank until they catch McCabe. Frank takes advantage of the chaos caused by the media in front of the hospital and manages to escape. Then he calls his friend, who tells him that his son is suffering from nosebleeds. But suddenly McCabe comes and beats Frank's friend. Then he takes Dr. Samantha to take him to the gas room. In the room, she suddenly hits him with an oxygen tube. Frank arrives and discovers through the doctor that McCabe escaped with 2 tubes of gas that could cause a fire that would be difficult to control. McCabe goes to the power room to blow everything up. Frank reached him, but he could not do anything to him because he is his only hope to save his son. His son was moved to another room after the electricity went out in the entire place. Dr. Samantha had to go to the child and give him an injection to stop his nosebleeds, but she was prevented from doing so because guards surrounded the place. Frank tries to take the doctor to his son's location, but the matter becomes more difficult because Dr. Samantha has a phobia of heights. McCabe goes to the control room and puts an injection of sulfuric acid on the prison warden's neck, as a drop of this acid is enough to kill him. He forced him to open all the doors so that he could enter the control room. He closes all the doors and speaks into the microphone in an arrogant manner because he did everything he wanted. He ordered the officers to leave the entire place, otherwise he would kill everyone present. He also asked them to bring him a helicopter to the roof. Then he closes all the hospital doors so that no one can enter. At the same time, an officer from the support forces penetrates the air conditioning basement in order to kill McCabe. Frank and the doctor arrive at the door, but all the doors are closed. Frank begs McCabe to open the door for them because his son will die if he doesn't take the injection. But McCabe asks him to tell him the secret places in the hospital through which he can escape in exchange for allowing him to enter. Already agreeing to this, McCabe lets them in. The doctor goes to Frank's son. McCabe goes to the roof of another building and was waiting for all the guards to cross the bridge in order to blow it up, but Frank discovered his plan and tried to thwart it. Indeed, he opened fire on the bridge so that the guards could return. McCabe goes to the roof after the helicopter arrives. Then he leaves the warden and guards there and returns to Frank. He took his gun and ordered Frank's friend to open the door for them or he would kill Frank. The child opens the door because he is afraid for his father. The doctor tried to inject McCabe with an anesthetic, but he was smarter than her and shot Frank's friend in the leg. He takes Frank's son hostage because he finds out he betrayed him. He closes the door on them and goes to the tunnel in the morgue. He placed a large refrigerator in front of the elevator door so that Frank could not reach it. Frank managed to leave the room and go down the elevator rope to the morgue. McCabe arrives at the location of the secret tunnel that Frank told him about. He sympathizes with the child who told him that he would not be able to resist the disease. He is affected by what the child said, but leaves the child and runs away. Frank arrives and enters the tunnel, but unfortunately McCabe has escaped. Frank comes out of the tunnel and notices a police car on the street. He arrives at them and discovers that someone's car has been stolen, so he thinks McCabe is the thief. He takes the man's information, finds out the entire car's information, and then informs all the patrols. Someone discovered the path of the stolen car and reported it to Frank. He follows him and tells the troops to close the San Francisco Bridge in 2 minutes. He forced McCabe to cross the bridge. Once he crosses, the bridge is closed, thus trapping McCabe. Frank asks him to come with him so they can perform the surgery, but he refuses because he will return to prison again. When he saw the helicopter, he fired at it and an exchange of bullets occurred between them. Frank tried to stop them, but he was injured. McCabe tried to jump off the bridge, but Frank shot him in the leg. They jump into the river together and Frank saves him. McCabe is actually taken to the hospital so they can operate on him before Frank's son dies. The child survives after the surgery was successful. Frank was happy because he was able to save his son's life. McCabe was about to die, so he asked the guard about the baby's condition. The guard is surprised by McCabe's strange behavior, and suddenly he takes out a gun, points it at the guard, and asks him what kind of car it is. An ambiguous ending that makes us wonder about the fate of McCabe, the dangerous man.